Hi everyone, Jody with the Ring Lord here. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of our Beginner Weave series, Celtic Wings. Before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button so you are alerted when new content is released. Let's get into how to build Celtic Wings. I will be using 16 gauge SWG, that's 1.6 millimeter wire, 5/16 internal diameter for my large rings, and 16 gauge 7/32 internal diameter for my small rings. You'll want to go ahead and view the graphic at the beginning of the video to determine how many large and small rings you'll need for the project that you want to make. If you like to prepare open and closed rings before you start weaving, you can go ahead and open all of the small rings and about half of the large and close the other half. So the first thing we're going to do is make some units using the closed large rings. So I've made some units here, and I'm going to show you how to make this unit. It's just a 2 and 2 unit. So you're going to grab a small ring and pick up 2 large rings. Close the ring. Grab another small ring and go through the same path and close. So you will now have a 2 and 2 unit. So go ahead and lay your unit that you just made out like that. Sit one of your other units, the large ring, over the 2 small rings. Then you're going to pick it up. You're going to fold the other large ring around to the other side. You're just sandwiching those rings between, you're sandwiching the small rings between the large rings. So that's what it looks like from the side. You're basically making a helm unit with another couple pieces. So you're going to take a small open ring, because we need to secure this. It can be a little fiddly. So that's what it should look like. And you're going to take your small open ring and only go through those 2 large center rings. So my orange rings. It only goes through those rings. So close that ring. And that's what you should have right now. Now we're going to add another open small ring in the same path. So only through the 2 large rings in the center. Okay, and that's your first unit. To make your second unit, you're going to take a large open ring and feed it through the 2 small rings that you just added, or on the other side, it really doesn't matter. You can work off both ends of this weave. Just make sure to finish your unit on either side before you go forward. So there's 1 large ring attached, and now I will add the other large ring. So you will have 2 rings hanging off the edge. Now we're going to take one of the units that are pre-made, flip open the large ring that you just added, sit the small rings from the unit inside the bottom large ring. This is exactly the same thing as we just did with the first unit, and flip that top ring over. Right, so you're sandwiching these small rings in between those 2 center large rings. So we're going to pick it up, and again, this is fiddly, so you may need to reorient, and that's fine. Small ring goes through those 2 large center rings only. It doesn't go through any other rings. Close it. Grab another ring and put it through the same path. Now we have 2 units. So the next step is to add 2 large rings to the 2 small rings at either end. There's 1. And here is 2. And we're going to grab one of the pre-made units, flip those rings open, sit the small rings so they're inside the bottom large ring, and close it. Go ahead and add your small ring through only those 2 large rings. Close your small ring. Put another small ring in. And I will go ahead and do these last 2 units just so you can see again what I'm doing. 2 large open rings at the end. And we've got add a unit. Add 2 small rings to secure that unit inside. And then we're back to the next step of adding 2 large rings. Now we're going to add this unit. I find it easier to just hold the piece in my hand so I can close these 2 rings and hold them shut so they don't get all weird and fiddly. And then go ahead and put your small rings through. Once you have that first one through, you're fine. So that is it for Celtic Wings. It's a fairly straightforward weave. If you want to add a clasp to it, it depends on what clasp you choose, how the loop is oriented. So for instance, this one would not work on the end of this because it needs another ring, or else it'll be sitting this way, which wouldn't be ideal. So for a lobster clasp like that, I would just add another ring to the end and then add the clasp. If you have other types of closures, you just look at it and see which way it needs to sit and add a ring if you need to, or attach it to the last ring or 2. You can take one of these rings out if you need to. If you have a clasp that will only fit 1 ring, that's completely fine. The other thing that I do on my jewelry is I add these little extensions, and I usually only add 3 to 5 rings. It gives the customer a little extra room so they can clasp the piece where they prefer. And it also gives you a little extra room in case the measurement of the bracelet or necklace wasn't exact. So you would just clasp it there. And that is it. If you have questions about an order or product, please contact customer service at orders@TheRingLord.com. If you need help with a project, please contact projecthelp@TheRingLord.com. We'll be happy to help you. I hope you have a great day.